really informal. I'm EthanRodrique, Scout Council. We're going to talk a little bit about podcasts, how to access podcasts. This is Andrew Hope. Does all of our Instagram stuff. And I want to say first that it's not hard to do this stuff at all. Just as an example of that, I'll tell you a quick funny story. God's honest truth. About 8 years ago, I started running trail cameras. As dumb as this sounds, I pulled my trail cameras. My buddies at the house. I'm like, well, how do you erase these SD cards? He's like, you just flip it over. You see those little gold bands? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you just erase it with an eraser. And in my defense, you can actually clean circuit boards that way. And I was like, all right. I was like, you're an idiot, man. So that's how technologically advanced I am. Okay. If I can do this, any half-brain retarded monkey can do it. I promise. Super easy stuff. So, does anybody here listen to podcasts? Okay. Is anybody here? Everybody's pretty familiar with how to download podcasts and search podcasts and that sort of thing. All right.
Not really.
It's really simple. It doesn't cost a dime, right? You can do it on. There's tons of platforms you download that don't cost anything. You can go with Apple iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean. There's tons of them, right? All you do is download that app. It won't cost anything. Once you download it, you search whatever app you want to look at. If it's the Push or History Pod, whatever, you have to look up specifically that name, right? When you look
Can't
up that,
search by subject.
no, you can do a Google search and see what's available, but you can't search by subject. You type that in, and then we'll go over this. If anybody wants to come up, Kevin, I'll get your phone and do it for you. But
Yay.
it'll pull up, and you can download individual episodes by just touching it, right? And it'll pop up for you, or you can subscribe to it, and every week when they come out, we'll have a new one. It's not going to eat up data. It's not going to eat up data. Totally free. You can listen to them online more often than not. Super simple, super easy. So, does anybody, I'm not trying to call you out here, Kevin, does anybody besides Kevin have any issues with getting on podcasts and downloading them?
Just the downloading part versus listening to it straight on the internet.
That's what my question was too. Does it benefit you guys to have the download log back to your website or whatever else versus a stream?
Not really. So that, it's tracked very loosely.
Okay.
Very loosely, right?
I wondered
you
that.
kind of get a roundabout idea how many downloads you have. There's so many different platforms. Some of them more accurate than others. If you listen to something online, it's not going to show as a download, but that's kind of pretty much understood from what we've been told. About a third of what you're showing is actually, you got about 2/3 more than that. But for the download, all you basically have to do when you look up that podcast, I personally use iTunes, you'll see subscribe. And when you hit that, it'll just give you a check mark, and the next time a new episode comes out, it's going to automatically be downloaded. So you don't have to go look for them. If your podcast that you want to listen to comes out on Thursday, when Thursday morning you get up, it'll be there, and then you can hit it. Once it downloads to your phone, you can even pretty much be out of service. It doesn't matter. And like I said, it doesn't take up data or anything like that.
I will say on my new Google app that it gives me a choice to download or stream. So
really?
like if I know I'm going to be out, I could download like 5 in a row if I'm going to be out of signal. But then if I don't make sure and designate that, then it forces me to stream first.
Mine does set everything out.
It does.
Oh, okay. So there you get there again. I'm not very.
What's the benefit to using, for example, you said iTunes? On my phone, I have that iPhone. I have that podcast app.
Okay. Do you have an iPhone?
Yeah. Is that the same thing?
I believe so.
Okay.
I
It's the
believe
purple
so.
app or whatever.
Yep, that's the same one I
Okay,
use.
all right.
And honestly, there's not really a benefit that we can see. It's just a way to watch a way to listen to your podcast is all it is.
Okay.
Whatever one you subscribe to, like I said, they're all free. Doesn't cost anything. No issue. And there's a lot of times if you're driving down the road and you want to listen to something, you just like click on it. You are streaming it, and so I'm familiar with that. As you know, you're not actually, it's not pre-downloaded. You're listening to it as it's coming into your phone. But the only difference is, like I said, when you subscribe to it, you don't have to do that. It'll just automatically pop up. And then if you don't want to listen to it, you can swipe it and clear it. You can save it for later, what have you. Typically, I have several. I do a lot of driving for work, so I have half a dozen that I listen to. So I've always got something kind of fresh to listen to, because I don't think anything worth listening to is ever on music radio anymore. So that can help me. So
I guess, and I don't want to take up all your time.
no, you're fine.
If I could have one thing, it would be, because I drive a lot too, so I listen, like Stickpole Chronicles, I'll start at the latest, and then I just let it go. But sometimes, what I wish is it would go to the last one, or the next one that I haven't listened to, instead of what does just go to the next one, even though I've already heard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
But that's a platform issue. That's just the way that their platform does it.
Yeah.
So we have no control over that. It's
Yeah,
just the way it works.
yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying.
yeah.
But I mean, they're pretty simple. Yeah.
I might throw into that.
Sure.
You might just try a different app. I think you said you're on iPhone.
Yeah.
I think Stitcher's iPhone available. It, I think, rotates through the last one you've not listened to, and there's a setting to choose otherwise.
Oh.
And I switched over to the Google new one, but it depends on the phone you have, because it always rotates my new in first and gives me a full list of every new one, plus all ones I've not listened to in order behind. So you can choose on it whether you even want to go through, like, I'll have Stickbow up, listen to it, and then I can queue up my next one to be Trad Gang, or Push, or whoever else next on that too. Sorry, I don't mean
No,
to.
you're
That's
fine.
Stitcher.
Stitcher's a popular one. There's several.
Okay, thanks.
The one I use is the one my daughter downloaded for me.
That's awesome.
But I think the reason that there's such an impact now is people these days just don't. Younger people these days, they just don't. They don't read. They don't like to read stuff. Or I'll be 45 this year. I like a book, I like a magazine. I want pages. I don't like reading stuff on e-books or anything like that. But a lot of younger people are just not that way. For instance, in my job, I deal a lot with engineers and whatnot, and if they want tooling catalogs from the company I work for, if I go into a customer, if that engineer's in early 30s or younger, I don't even bring catalogs up. They don't want catalogs. When I was in a machine shop and I was on the floor, I had every catalog of every cutting company out there, because that's what I wanted to use. It's just a generational thing, and people just, that's just how it is now. But the good thing is it is so easy, and like I tell people, it's like listening to talk radio or listening to a news channel about something that you actually are interested in. It's not just general information that you think this is ridiculous and doesn't affect my life at all, right? It's kind of like watching the news and not having to hear about what some movie star thinks about some particular issue, because it's totally irrelevant to life.
Yeah.
Right? So it's really simple. It's easy. Andrew and I had talked about putting something up on the screen, but there again, because of our lack of technology, we figured that if anybody had any questions, we'll be glad to help you get it set up and show you how to get started, because it literally takes seconds.
Yeah.
And the same thing with, before I was on council, I started the PBS Instagram page, and my daughters were like, "Hey, Dad, you should really do something like that with PBS." And I don't know how to do that. And as they're telling me about it, they're playing with my phone, and like 30 seconds later, like, "Well, here you go, you're set up." I'm like, "Well, I have no idea what you just did." It's just super simple. It's super easy. It's a way to, forums, right? Remember forums from, a few years ago, everybody was on forums. Hardly anybody uses forums now.
Yep.
But you can go to the Instagram pages, and you can keep up with stuff. Andrew posts things.
Is everyone familiar with Instagram or have knowledge of that? Yeah. So, Instagram, photos, and then it's just kind of a way to network. What you do is there's things called hashtags, and we have a hashtag of Provo Society, PBS, that sort of thing. And that, if you put that on your photo, then everyone who then follows that hashtag will see it. So that's kind of the way to get yourself out there. And like Ethan had said, that's this younger generation growing up. I guess I'm technically included. I can't relate. I'm the book guy, something that I can hold in my hand, tangible. But, as things change, we need to be relative, with those things. And, doing the Instagram, we've had a good response to it. my goal with that is, just promoting, short range bow hunting, what we all love, getting close, because we're drawing bow hunters, from the compound side, really, unless you have someone to show you and take the, under their wing to be able to get you, this thing that we all love, bow hunting, pulling from that compound side and not the thing you see a lot on Instagram is beating down, compounds or crossbows or things like that. I have a tendency, me and my buddies would call them string rifles, but you can't beat it and look like an elitist jerk, So that's my kind of thing is for us to continue, what we're doing, you gotta, just show them what we all love. And the thing that I'm trying to do is with the membership hunts. If anyone attends a membership hunt, please contact me. I'll give you my phone number, email, anything. Because that's a big draw for PBS is these membership hunts, So I'd be more than happy to, if you're gonna attend one or host one, contact me and we can get photos then.
Wasn't that new Clay Hayes, the Clay Hayes video, wasn't that a PBS hunt?
Yes, yep,
With
that
the
was
pigs?
the Georgia hog hunt. Yep.
Yeah, and then his 7-year-old boy just, with
Yeah,
his
he
own
just
primitive
got
boy,
one.
just killed that pig.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And the cool thing with Instagram, so if in just case anybody is not, I'm assuming that some of you guys are not on Instagram.
That'd be a good start.
Yeah.
So the way that works is if you go on Instagram, right, you're only going to see the content of people you follow. Okay. So if you follow PBS and 3 or 4, Black Widow, Blacktail,
And
Katie,
Clay Hayes.
Clay Hayes, whenever they post something, that's what you're going to see. Okay. If someone tags them in the post, it'll usually show up. Okay. So if you post a picture of a hunt, it could be anything, literally. It could be your bow leaning against a rock. It doesn't matter. And you put in hashtag Pro Bow Society, and Tim here is following PBS, he's going to see it. Right? So let's just say that Walt has whatever, he's got 300 buddies that follow him, and Kevin's got 400 buddies that follow him, and Chris has 20, whatever. And you post something and you hashtag Pro Bow Society, then he's going to see it. And everybody who follows him, if he tags it, they're going to see it. So what we're getting at is it's like we spend all this money in every aspect to advertising, get PBS out and whatnot. That has like this kind of potential, and it's good and it's necessary. But then you have the social media that costs nothing, and you will reach 10,000 times more people. So, and that was one of the issues, and I know Andrew's dealing with it too. It's hard to come up with content to post every single day. So any kind of cool picture. If you're making arrows, snap a picture, text it to Andrew. Or
Yeah,
email.
and I might interject, if you have a hero photo, to harvest an animal, just please take a few moments, maybe tuck the tongue in, clean up blood off your hands and the animal, just take a couple moments to do that, pull the arrow out. Yeah, if you want to take a photo with the arrow in, for your personal, but, just try to be tasteful, in the content that we're posting, because it's not just hunters seeing it, it is the whole world. So that's just one thing, that goes, I think, a long way.
Yeah, be aware. I mean, if I shoot a deer and then the exit hole is massive, I might be like, hey, Kevin, man, check this out. But I'm not going to be like, let me put that on Instagram.
Yeah.
So everybody can see that.
Yeah, place a leaf over it or something, just that little extra time goes a long way.
It may not. What's that one?
Backpack works really good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have a question on. I think the most difficult part to me is hashtags. When I first started out, especially, do you guys have a little? I know they sort of auto-populate after you put in a couple, as you start to type them. But like the best thing that I started to do, and I don't know if this is right or not, but especially on group things, I made a copy and paste board that I just literally in one fell swoop copy and paste all of them. Have you guys found a better way? Are you letting them auto?
Yeah, that's a new thing for me.
Okay. Oh, it takes forever to get all the hashtags on it, and then you're
if
like,
you forget one, it's like, oh, crap.
I know. Yeah.
But another thing I want to touch on is the I am the PBS.
Yeah.
And if you have not done that, please take a few moments. And you know, we had excuse me, but previously it was I'm the PBS. It was in traditional bow hunter, correct? You know, it's just a couple, doesn't have to be long, a couple sentences, you know, about who you are, what you like to do, or what you like about PBS. And just do that couple lines, nothing special, and send that in to me, email, whatever, to Harmony, you know, with a photo of you or, you know, with an animal, whatever. And send that, and then that can be posted then, you know, so
That's
that's
huge.
another thing for content that's cool, you know, to get everyone, you know, not just, you know, the Monty Brownings, the Wenzels, you know, everyone. We're all the PBS.
Yeah, and we specifically don't want to, you kill a great elk, great moose, great whitetail, that's wonderful, but kill a young doe, great.
Yeah, button bucks.
It doesn't matter. If you go to the forum, there's that photo a day, right? There's enough content on there for a year worth of stuff, right? So when I first started, I was like, hey, this is great, but after about that 30th email, is it okay if I post this? Like, you just can't do that, right?
Yeah.
So any kind of picture, again, if it's your bow leaned against a tree, a cool looking tree, or a creek, or you're making arrows, or you're scraping, sanding a bow, whatever, anything like that.
Buck rub or yeah.
It's almost, I don't want to say it's irrelevant as to what the picture is, because it isn't irrelevant, but it almost doesn't matter.
No.
As long as it's a tasteful picture, it's content, it's something saying PBS, PBS,
Yeah.
PBS.
And the more that you post and are active, the more people will see it will come up. You know, you can get more things out, and then it will just reach out even farther.
And the hashtag thing, the way that works is like if a guy's into golf, whatever, and he hashtags I love golf, right? Anybody who's following all kinds of stuff about golf, Instagram's going to say, hey, look, this guy's always posting that, you want to follow him? So it just kind of builds, and it's almost like a snowball effect. And like I said, the amount of advertising, the free, totally cost-free, great advertisement you get out of this is, I don't know the number, what it would be, but I would say it's at least 1,000 times greater than anything. I mean,
Yeah, it's
it
unreal.
reaches everybody.
It's also a targeted market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They can only watch something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Are you saying, I didn't understand. Are you saying, like say I shoot my first deer or whatever?
Yeah.
You want me to email that to you, or you want me to hashtag?
No, you can email me the photo with just, hey, you know, who you are, maybe a little bit about the hunt, you know, where you hunted, your bow, whatever, you know, just a little bit of info, and we can post that up.
Or you can email it to Harmony.
Yeah, Harmony as well.
You can post it yourself as well. You know, post it and you can tag people, and we can show anybody who wants to know how to do this afterwards. You can tag people, or you can put the hashtag, and it'll come up. So if you hashtag Pro Bow Society, when Andrew gets on there, he's gonna say, hey, you've been tagged in this, right? And if you just want to do it that way, that's fine too. Tag it in him, and he'll say, okay, I'll just share it. No problem, no harm, no foul. And the whole hashtag thing, you can make it whatever you want to make it. It doesn't matter. It's just a kind of way to say, like, if that guy plays golf, he's gonna I'm gonna put I love golf rocks, or I got nothing better to do than hit a ball around a green field, whatever. He's gonna put that in there, and anybody else who follows golf's gonna see that. So it's just a way to, and unlike Facebook, you're not gonna see tons of stuff, political stuff, and you know, this ad and that ad. It's just strictly, if you follow 3 people, you're gonna see those 3 people. And stuff that pertains to that, strictly pertains to that. So like following bow hunting, right? I do a lot of stuff with people that support PBS and everything else. I don't have to wade through ads about cross guns or this broadhead or that broad. It's not traditionally related. It's not gonna pop up. You know, if you look at my Instagram, it's gonna be bow hunting and fly fishing stuff, and that's it. So it's almost like a more direct, concentrated form of Facebook. It's a lot easier to navigate. You don't have to shift through all that stuff or sift through all that stuff.
Do you care if I expand on that?
Please do.
Do a bunch of you guys already use Facebook that don't use Instagram?
Right now,
Yeah.
Probably.
for a reason, though.
So, well, yeah. But you know, then also like when you go to do something great and you're with your friends and stuff and you go to post maybe a shot you made or something on Facebook. Well, Instagram's owned by Facebook now. So when you join Instagram, you can join with your Facebook login and then it'll give you an option when you go to post a picture on Instagram and have a little button that you can turn on for Facebook as well. So when you do your hashtag and you actually drop it to Instagram, it shows up for all your friends and family that you would normally post to on Facebook anyway. So it combines it all in one fell swoop for you, and you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm gonna go back now and add this to Instagram and add this one to Facebook, and it'll just do it all together. So
And it sounds complicated, but it's really
it's not, yeah,
Like I said, if I can do this stuff, anybody can do this.
Yes.
It's really not bad at
me
all.
too.
It's just more intimidating thinking about it.
I'm not sure who you are, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry if I didn't introduce myself. My name's Andy Houck from Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
You know, excuse me.
Sure.
Yeah, so he does all the Instagram stuff, and I'm telling you firsthand, it's so hard to find stuff. And I'm guilty of it too. Every once in a while, I'll think about it, and I'll be like, dang, I gotta get Andy some stuff. And I'll send him a bunch of pictures at once, and I'll forget about it. Like, oh, I gotta get him some pictures. So the more stuff you can get, the better, because
Okay. And it doesn't have to, like we said, it can be simple. You know, your broadhead next to a deer track, a buck rub, you know, picture you in the tree stand, you know, anything. Anything is just content to get out there and, you know, spread the word.
So then to post, when you're saying those send it to you, that's for you to control posting it to PBS side, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then, but there's not an open way on the, where we can direct post to PBS?
no, the way it's set up, you can't, you can only,
Oh, that protects PBS from what shows, sorry.
well,
Yeah,
not
I
only
should've
that,
thought
but
of this.
like, you can set up, like, on the PBS account, if I went in there and I logged in and said, okay, I'm gonna post this, the next time he would go to log in, and he'd have to re-log
okay,
it,
sure.
you know what I'm saying? So we've got it set up, if you just wanna tag PBS,
Yeah,
then Andy
you
can
can
do
That's
do
that.
that.
enough?
I can repost it.
Okay.
You
So
know,
all you gotta do when you post that picture, is click on the picture, and it's gonna say, who you wanna tag? It's say Pro Bow Society.
Yeah.
And it'll learn what you're doing, so you'll put PRO, and like, oh yeah, it's Pro Bow. And after a while, you say tag it, it's gonna go, you wanna do this guy, right? So it's literally just click, click, click. It's super simple. And like I said, it's I know older guys, it's such a pain. But once you get used to doing it, it's really not that big a deal. And it's so beneficial to PBS. It's a huge, it's just an untapped market. It's free advertising. You know, and I've told many people this. In my opinion, the biggest challenge we have with spreading the word PBS is describing what PBS is. I feel like I can describe what PBS is to somebody 3 hours, and they'll kind of have a foggy idea. But if they attend a banquet or a gathering, a hunt, within the first minute and a half, they're gonna be like, oh, get it done. It's just another way to do that, you know. And that's one of the reasons we don't want to focus on just huge, massive animals and this and that, you know. Kid and their first animal, heck yeah, post that out, you know. Shoot a rabbit, that's fine. Just anything, and it's just content. It's just content. It's not the biggest and the baddest, and I'm the best, and you know, it doesn't matter. It's just simple content, and it goes a long, long way. And it's really, if you think about it, you know, how many pictures on your phone can you post? You're like, I got quite a few, right? But now you say, okay, I'm going to post a picture a day. After a month or two, at best, you're like, I don't know what to post, you know. So anything, you're hanging tree stands, you're trimming trees, getting ready for deer season. You're packing up,
Shed hunt.
shed in.
Yeah, shed in.
You're packing up to go on the hunt. Whatever, you know, some of the
Finished
coolest.
taxidermy,
What's
Yeah.
that?
the finished mount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I've seen some awesome pictures of something simple like, I've seen one a guy posted, it was just a worn out shooting tab on a bear rug. It looked awesome, just a close up of it. Just anything like that, it's free advertising. And it lets people know what we're about, and it lets people know that we're not just about inches and all that sort of thing. And it's intriguing. And then, you know, people hear about this, they hear about that. I listen to podcasts and they mention that. What is that, right? So then they search it and it pops up, and there's all these really cool pictures of normal, everyday people, just like me and you, that hunt what we can, where we can, when we can. And it goes a long way. So, yeah.
What's the difference between tagging somebody and hashtagging somebody? Or is that the same thing?
No, so there is a difference. So a tag is if I take a picture and I want to tag Pro Bow Society, right? I will do that. I'll tag them, and then Andy will see, as he has the account manager for Pro Bow Society, he'll see it. Hey, you've been tagged in something. Okay, if I do a hashtag, not realize how complicated this sounds as I'm saying it, it's really not. A hashtag is just
Probo Society, Trad Life,
Yeah.
hashtag
I am the
longbow,
PBS.
hashtag I'm the PBS,
Okay.
hashtag bow hunting, hashtag elk hunting, hashtag whatever. And then anybody who is remotely following, so you can follow hashtags. Anybody who's following stuff like that, it'll pop up in your feed.
Okay.
You know, so you're reaching literally people who have probably never picked up a magazine or have been on the forum in their life, but they're seeing it.
So I'm doing right. If I post something to my Instagram account and I tag Provo Society,
Yes.
I'm doing right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
What are there one or two main hashtags for PBS? It's I am the PBS,
Correct.
That's the main one.
main
Yeah.
one. Is
Yeah.
there any other
Provo
alternates?
Society.
Probo Society.
Some people have hashtagged just hashtag PBS in capital letters. That sometimes gets lost because that's the PBS like TV, you know, so that kind of gets lost in the mix sometimes. So the safe ones, I would say, you know, are Provo Society, I'm the PBS.
Thank you.
And there's a lot of inherently ridiculous things that go along with social media. I mean, it's a tool like anything else. There's some good stuff about it, and there's some really bad stuff about it. But you know, it's like anything else. Just use it for good, right?
So I feel like I've been. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
so, and feel free to talk to me offline. This is Born Over Wrestling Marine. So if I post a photo of myself and hashtag Provo Society, anybody that's following PBS is going to see that.
Yes.
You don't get to filter that. So if I put something
No.
tasteless on, it's still going to be attached to PBS.
It will. It will. But now, if you just hashtag that, if you tag that person, right, which is, we'll show you how to do that. It's a little different. Then Andy, if you hashtag Provo Society and Andy's working late and the next day he gets on there, he may or may not see it. If you tag him and say, "Hey, Provo Society, I'm attaching you to this picture," then he's going to see
Yeah,
it.
it's a guarantee that I'll see it.
And you get to filter or not filter.
No, it is not.
No.
No. Uh-uh.
So we got to be really diligent about anything you put out there.
Yeah, yeah. And I will say this too. There's a little bit, you know, just like we talked about. If you put a picture, a ridiculous picture of a deer with a cigarette in its mouth while you're drinking a beer, yeah, okay, you're gonna look like an idiot, and other tasteless people are gonna be like, "Yeah, right on, buddy." And then most people are gonna be like, "This guy's an idiot."
Is
Hundreds
that
of
PBS
morons,
or
right?
PBR?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Point I'm getting at is not saying that any of that is good, but on Instagram, people aren't going to see that unless they're already following people stuff, right? So it's kind of like I said, if I've got a really cool picture of where I got an arrow stuck through the heart, arrowhead, broadhead hole. I'm like, "Hey Kevin, check this out." I'm going to show you because we're buddies and we hunt. I'm not going to show that to everybody else. It's kind of like that on Instagram where somebody who is, you know, anti-hunter and likes to whatever, save the beast,
Yeah.
he's not going to see that picture because he's not following the hunting stuff. But at the same time, we still need to be, you know, cognizant of that.
When you post a photo, do you have the opportunity to post text along with it?
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
there is caption that goes along
So
with it.
you do a little brief explanation, whatever.
Is it like limited to like 30 character?
I don't know.
And I think
It's
there's a
500.
limit.
There is.
That's
I
quite a
think
bit.
there is.
What is it?
Yeah.
500, I think, on
Yeah,
Instagram
that's-
at least.
that's quite a bit, yeah. Usually a picture's like, you know, somebody will post something, they're like, "Hey, had a good time at PBS banquet this week," or something like that. You know, sometimes it'll get a little lengthy, and then you can share other people's stuff like that too. It's almost like a more streamlined Facebook, I guess.
Facebook/Instagram doesn't, like if I use the term weapon, gun, firearm, it doesn't filter anything.
Not on Instagram.
So yeah, and we'll be glad to hang out, and anybody that's got any questions, and show you how to get started on this stuff or anything like that.
Yeah, my last question though is, did you bring hashtag I Hunt Close t-shirts?
Did not.
Oh! So that's a good example. You see that t-shirt and you put in hashtag I Hunt Close, and you get to see all the hashtag I Hunt Close tags and prior shots that people have turned into them. That's
So it's really not, like I said, it's not hard. Even if you have no interest in doing it, that's fine too. If you have some pictures that you wouldn't mind sharing, again, it could be anything. A squirrel you shot, a nice buck you shot, a cow elk you shot, stump shooting, anything. It would go good. Yeah. It's just content. It's just fresh content is all it comes down to.
No videos or anything.
You can.
You can do some videos, yeah. There's a limit. to
Yeah,
how
I
many
think it's a
seconds.
minute. I think a minute, and you can do consecutive. I'm not sure what the limit is. You might even know how
I
many.
hate to be the big geek here, you guys. I'm sorry.
No,
this
no.
This is the best thing I think that's happened to this society. It's why I'm here today, because I listened to Stickbow and I listened to the one where I forget the people you had on in the past, but you even had one from 2018 where they talked about the biannual gathering that's going to be in Springfield and for everybody to join new and fresh. Well, I think this is the largest gap between these groups and bringing in young people, because a young person will never order this magazine, but they will go look at it online. They will listen to that podcast. They will watch on YouTube. So have you ever, don't you do quite a bit with Aaron Snyder too?
Yeah, here
and there.
The Stickbow Chronicles for us, yeah.
Yeah, so then have you seen how you like split screens and they'll post to YouTube the podcast as well and create a monetary value on that for them that may pay for a camera or something that's not big money?
Sure.
Have you ever considered doing that for you guys too? Because we would watch. I would at least. That's like,
We had this Dalton Lewis and Ethan. I cannot remember Ethan's last name. Anyways, they have the Stick Boys. They do a lot of stuff. They're doing tagging a lot of stuff with PBS. But it's mind-boggling how many people that stuff reaches. Because like I said, people don't consume. You know, my kids, they're 20 and 16. Everything is online.
Everything
is online. 100%. It's just the way people communicate now, and it's awesome to get together with, you know, PBS is a big family. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Have y'all seen anybody? How many people have you seen younger than Andrew's age? Here.
How old is it?
30.
You're a baby.
Yeah, I'm referred to as the pup sometimes.
That's awesome.
And y'all probably won't get this. You guys will. I get referred to as a young guy. I'll be 45. Man. I mean, you know, we've had this conversation before. It's 45 is not a young guy.
What's going to happen with the magazines like Traditional Warhammer or Try to Archer's World? You know, what's going to happen to those guys? I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoy reading those magazines, you know, month in, month out. But I'm beginning to listen to a lot of the podcasts
Right.
from the last couple of years on that. And
I think there's a market for that because of people like us. I still want to read. You know, I don't want to read Tristan Bowhunter online. I want the magazine. I want to flip through the pages.
And don't ever throw them away, because you get a little older, you'll forget about those. You can start reading. You go back to the wild.
start from where go back to the beginning. That's
And
right.
since it's traditional,
And-
it's always relevant.
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
And as much as I love to read, I think a big draw to the podcast world is, and you have to remember this when you're listening, it is unfiltered. And like, you'll be listening to him and Snyder will be like, oh, I gotta check my mouth, you know, because it's open. There's no regulations on it. It's if someone goes to talking dirty or nasty, you hear that too.
Yeah, and you won't
And-
hear that on anything that PBS is affiliated with. You're not going to
Right.
hear that. You may hear a little slip now and then that gets past the editing, but there are podcasts out there that you may listen to, and it's
Very rough.
They can be raw.
because there is no filter in it. I hate to say this, but that's the way younger generation people talk. You know, if I'm out in town with my wife and daughters and somebody's, I'm going to have an issue with it.
Me
But
too.
As bad as I hate to say that, they're probably not because they
Yeah.
hear it all the time. It's just the way it is. It's not good. It's just the way it is.
I thought it was interesting. I've never been in one of these before. I'm here because I got involved in a few of these regional hunts. I've been to 4 now. But I thought it was interesting this morning, the care that the presenters sounded to me like we're making. Not, you know, like the food plot thing. I've never shot a deer over a food plot, but I don't mind. I don't mind if somebody else does. These guys work at not saying something that could offend somebody.
Yes.
I've never been very good at that, but you know, with practice.
You weren't good at it. Politically
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause let's face it, you know, everybody has their
Tom has his. They're divergent in different ways if you know both of them. And so you just try not to offend them.
Yeah, for sure.
You can see them say, my ethics are this, but I understand it. So,
Yeah. It's as elemental as, watching, which I don't, but the outdoor channel or what have you, and somebody shoots a deer and he's fist pumping high five. I get that, right? I do that too, okay? I'm not gonna put that on film, but I get that. But the average person flipping through that's not gonna be like, hey, you know what, that guy worked all year and he did all this work and all this practice. And kill that deer. He's gonna be like, yeah, you're an idiot, you're a moron, click. And that's all hunters. And it's like tenfold more important now because everybody sees this stuff. Everybody sees it. So just like I've already alluded to a couple of times, a picture. I may text picture and I have Russ say, check out this blood trail. This is awesome. But I know Russ is not going to go, hey, my buddy just shot this. Look at the blood trail he put. So you got to use some discretion there with that stuff. And like I said, I cannot overemphasize how much we need content. Just anything.
Well, don't worry, guys. I'll go hashtag on the big buck I missed twice so PBS can see it.
And everybody in PBS will be like, yep, been there, buddy.
Oh, man. Right. Big.
There's people who can say they haven't done that.
Oh, you can see me on video shaking.
But if anybody has any questions, by all means, I'm no longer on council, but if you look in the older magazines, get my email address, email me anytime. I'm a technological mental midget, but I'll help you as best I can. And most importantly, Harmony is awesome at all of this stuff. So I told her the presentation today was going to be harmony, and harmony. So she can help out a lot of this stuff. So you can email her. If you don't want to get involved and you're like, you know what, I don't want to go through the trouble, that's fine. You don't have to, but email it to me, email it to Andy, send it to Harmony, text me, I don't care. We'll get it to them and we'll put it out there because we need it. Pretty short and sweet. And,
Any questions?
On the subject of content,
yeah.
If you've got an idea for an article, how polished does it need to be?
It does not have to be polished.
Yep.
No, they published me in the last one. Just believe me, it doesn't.
So here's the deal.
/Harmony. We'll
Yeah, so-
edit, whatever.
And I'll only say this if you promise to go tell him I said this. So Kevin Barr doesn't look very smart, but he is really smart. He will make you sound really smart.
Okay.
Trust me. If you read some of the stuff that I've written and the way I've edited it, you'd be like, man, this guy's a moron. Kevin is really good at that, and everything is edited. They're not going to change any content of the article. They'll make those changes.
So is it, I mean, I know you're speaking to them now, but if you send something rough in, is it kind of like video footage where the editor says, I'd rather be looking at it than looking for it?
Yeah, so there's been a couple of instances where someone's written in and council, we've discussed it, and Matt will call and go, hey buddy, look, it's cool, we really appreciate the article. Do you care if we change this a little bit because of this, or we just leave this little part out, or that sort of thing? So if you have an idea for an article, by all means, please write it.
Too much content is better than too little.
Too much content, better too little.
You got to remember this is voluntary staff
Yeah.
doing everything
Right.
here, so the more finished and polished you can have it.
Absolutely.
When you get it and support it with photographs,
Right.
okay, the better off you are.
Sure.
The better off they are, because they can read the book. Hell, I took down one of my old posts on Track Game and sent it in, so they got it.
Yeah.
And it just, and I had to read through it and edit what I had written 10 years ago or 8 years ago or whatever. It's not that hard. So,
Yeah, it's not hard.
And then,
Hey, Kevin, I'll put it this way. You know my dad. My dad's written articles.
well, all right.
Dad doesn't realize he's missed a turn until he's 6 turns past it. So.
Now, also, what about the idea of, on the website, a membership profile? I've been to 4 gatherings now, and just like it's been alluded to, I can walk up to any stranger, who's a stranger for the moment, and it's all grand. But still, even this small group, I look around, there's faces I don't see, and there's faces I recognize, but I don't put names with it.
And I can't remember names.
What if we had a membership profile that just said, you know, Kevin Brown, Middle Tennessee, he's either up with deer hunting, longs to kill an elk, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And that way,
It's
you
a good
know,
idea. It's a great idea.
Aren't they supposed to start with that back?
Yeah, we're trying to get that started back up. One of the things we're having, the regional reports is taking up so much space. And we'll go over this in the membership meeting, but we're looking at maybe trying to dial that back a little bit so we can get more stuff in there like that. But it all comes down to content, and we can do that. That would really entail somebody saying, hey, you know what, I'll step up and I'll start doing that. And I'll contact, you know. And again, spend a weekend and a phone call with 4 or 5 people, and there's your profiles for a year. You know, it's not that hard. Yeah.
To that end, one of the things that's helped me a lot, Kevin, is it?
Yes.
Is the Facebook page. I've learned who a lot of people are on the PBS Facebook page. I really have. I've gotten to know them better and had conversations with them here that I would have never had before. I've seen them here in the past, but I really didn't know them. And to me, that kind of serves the same purpose. So if you're not a member of the post stuff out there, you know, talk about a hunt. Let people see your face. And to me, it's even more effective than in the magazine. But that's my 2 cents. That's not. I'm not saying it is. That's how I feel because it's worked really well for me.
Yeah. Well, I met Andrew for the first time face to face yesterday, but we've talked on the phone and messaged so much.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like, oh, finally get to meet you. It's like, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
You know?
Isn't that crazy? I've met guys from my local area on Facebook because I tagged something, and now I'm shooting with Scott Dooley, and he lives in Nixa, and I live up here in Bodark, and I never knew him before Facebook. And that's just an awesome connection tool. It's
Because you're isolating those interests. So, yeah, again, content, man, you can use everything we can get. So we'll be around. If you don't have time to do it now, and if you would like to have somebody show you how to set something up, come get us whenever. We'll be available right now.
yeah.